All right, let's do some more. This is just assembly here. I've already swing weighted, prepped, all that stuff. So, and we're putting in a set of shaft pulls, so they've already got grips on them. So we've got to be a little more specific on getting them lined up so the grip's in line. So epoxy's already mixed, so let's get started. A little bit of epoxy inside the ferrule. And a little thin layer on the shaft. And it don't take much inside the hosel. We just want a thin layer all the way around. And always spin them on so it works epoxy around everywhere. Make sure you bottom out. Clean epoxy off. I'm definitely going to use the clamps for these. That way I can set them down on the floor. Make sure I get them lined up. Alright, all good. So up to the rack that one goes. On to the next one. So it's just repeat steps. It might sound kind of stupid, I don't know, but I always run a little wire brush inside my ferrules just to scuff them up, to give texture for epoxy to bond to. Just a little thing to try to help make sure that they stay in place. When you're doing it like this, don't pick it up by the shaft, because you don't want it to slide out of the hosel any. There we go. You can see the markings on the grip, and of course while we're trying to make sure we get them lined up right. These are going nice and quick. That was a little tight. put that little bit of epoxy in there. Helps it slide on. If you can see, when I say a little bit of epoxy in the hosel, you can see that's all I'm putting in there. It ain't much, but it's enough to spread around and get a good thin layer all the way around. And that's all it takes. And we'll just spin it on, bottom it out. And if you don't use too much epoxy, you don't get a whole lot of it squirting out everywhere when you seat it up to the ferrule. It's just a little bit, and it's easy to clean off. Another one ready. These are going together really well. Prep work before you start assembly makes a huge difference in how smooth the actual build can go. And I've been drinking an energy drink and ain't had nothing to eat, so my hands are a little shaky. Maybe I should have ate something before I started doing this.
Human cholesterol health is that something new. A multi-action community pre-listed units backed by 3 clinical studies that demonstrate real, measurable support for cholesterol and hospital. Now in partnership with the University of Texas, this is modern day cholesterol supply which more people know. Only you. We know a lot of put off the best smile. The time, the cost, the anxiety. That's why Aspen Dental is changing how dentistry is done with technology to make care comfortable. Just allow us to figure life. All for the price. New patients without insurance go
A little farther off on that one.
Not waiting for tomorrow. That's the Aspen Dental difference. Aspen Dental. It's time to smile.
Today's weather is more unpredictable than ever. You can get away from this weather, but your house can't. If you don't have the right windows and doors,
You gotta wait in this one.
Renewal by Andersen.
I said, did go ahead and swing weight these
We don't just build our own windows.
before I started the video, so
Frame material. It's designed for extreme weather with the strength and insulation of wood and the low maintenance of vinyl. We call it fiberglass material, but you might as well call it magic. Why? Because our windows won't work like vinyl. They're not going to rot like wood, and they're certainly not going to grow like aluminum. Maybe they are magic. Ta-da! Right now, you can lock in some amazing financing. Get no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 18 months. Now, you don't want just anyone putting in your new windows. That could lead to a lot of problems. You know who installs our windows? We do. Our certified master installers are true craftsmen with years of experience. Remember, we're the replacement window division of Andersen. And Andersen's been around for over 100
and one of the main reasons
We're not going anywhere.
you always see me put a little epoxy in the end of the shaft when I put
Especially if
weights in there for swing weight, and the main reason I do that is so if these heads ever have to be pulled off again, it'll make it more likely that the swing weight stays in the shaft and doesn't come out inside the head. Because when it's inside the head, it is a pain to get it out. So, just a little extra step you can take that, you know, if they have to come out again, maybe you do them and it's easier on you, or maybe it's just easier on the next guy. But either way, it's not a bad idea. And the last one, got to wait for this one too. We had to add a little weight to the 9-iron and the pitching wedge. We got everything else kind of weighted where we want it.
Senior correspondent Mike Tobin has the latest for us.
And I said, you guys just updated their statement. So the utility companies in at least 7 states have reported malicious cyber attacks now. Despite the suspicion just from the president from Camp David, he says he does not think Iran is behind it. For years, Iran has targeted U.S. water systems with limited success. We first heard about the trouble in Minnesota. Mayor of Brown, Minnesota said starting on Monday, the plant operator realized that the big tower was calling for more water, but the well wasn't cooperating. They realized the machinery was receiving power, just not doing what it was supposed to do. So they investigated. 4 neighboring communities said publicly they had a similar problem. Plant operators restored backup and overall systems. Ultimately, 30
I was a little heavy on epoxy this time. I just made a mess out of this one.
Details about the suspected cyber attack will say the timing, method, access, and targets are similar to what they have seen from Iran before. Now, President Trump was asked about it at his cabinet meeting and said Iran has bigger problems than attacking Minnesota.
Minnesota is behind it. Minnesota was a grossly improper. I think we got it. I don't think there was a random cyber attack. I think that Minnesota is active.
Now, one of the reasons investigators are leaning toward the conclusion that hackers are state actors back on the street. No one demanded a ransom doesn't sometimes see when a large system comes under attack. The experts are saying a lot of cybersecurity systems are outdated 70s and 80s technology, and this should be a wake-up for more investment. I should back you.
Okay, Mike Tobin, line for us, Mike. Thank you. Bill?
Alright, that's all of them put together. And spread out
So he's heard the president say he doesn't think this was
this
Iran.
extra epoxy.
Minnesota being incompetent and that Iran has bigger problems in Minnesota, but the intel agencies apparently think it was Iran.
I always mix up a little more epoxy than I think I'll need. And the reason for that, maybe it's just an extra step I don't need to take, but I don't know. Reason I do it is I can leave some epoxy on my mixing board here, and that way I can check it later and and make sure that that batch of epoxy seems to be curing correctly. Because we definitely don't want club heads flying off. So that's the batch I was just using. When I'm done, I just spread it out real thin, and then I can come back in, 4 or 5 hours, make sure that it's curing up right, and then a few hours after that, make sure it did reach a good full cure. So that's it. We're done for now. We'll get these finished up, polish the ferrules tomorrow, get them back to the customer. So questions, comments, you know what to do with them. If you like this, let me know. If you got something specific you want to see, let me know. I do a little bit of everything, so I can probably do you a video on just about anything you want to see. That's it for now. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. See you.